Among the fallen, twisted branches of the grove, grief drifts like mist, settling on those who remain. But in every weary hand and every quiet voice, there is purpose. The promise of vengeance, the strength of community, and the fragile work of healing. These are the stories of those who live on, of those who endure. This is Echoes of the Grove. It's been a whirlwind of uncertainty and chaos for Oisin, Cossin, Old Screech, and Bragon. You found yourselves standing in front of Lilith, the Grove Guardian, one moment, and then heralded on this quest to hunt the source of the rot. There was little time to explain the gift, the curse, the weapon that was bestowed on each of you, and little time else to explain truly what you would meet at the end of this journey. But the one thing all of you are certain of is that this quest, this hunt, there's an answer to a question that each one of you is trying to find. Whether that's a daughter who is lost, whether that's a hunt to validate a belief and research, maybe it's a hunt for purpose and a sense of belonging, and maybe it's just to hurt the thing that hurt you and the people that you care most about in this world. It was late into dusk, almost night, with the shifting of the colors of the sky overhead, melting from a washed out gold and almost navy purple into just black, empty black sky. For the last couple of hours, you have been dragging, climbing, crawling through the grove and beyond it into the dark woods. And there is a gnarled and twisted barricade of ancient trees that once seemed to hum with a reverence and a majesty. These pillars of time that almost seem to herald the borders of the grove. Morning creeps upon you. It doesn't bring any sense of warmth. It doesn't bring any sense of safety, because the light, once that sort of brilliant gold, that sort of almost clung to the canopy of the grove and her forests, is now just this sort of stagnant energy. It is cold and pallid. And for a moment, Screech, it almost feels as if the light is hesitant to even touch the floor of the forest. It's a little darker down here than you've noticed, certainly within the confines of the safety of the Grove Village. Here in the dark woods, the air is changing. It hangs thick with this putrid stench. It is sour and earthy. Bragon, there's memories of being a child, a boy running through these woods and almost falling asleep in a mossy bank against a great oak sinking into a daytime nap while the laughter of your friends and schoolmates sort of echoes around you. Now there's just this dead silence, and that blanket of vibrant green moss that covered healthy timber is just this grey, sickly fuzz, like a mold that hasn't quite blossomed and bloomed. All of you, with each footstep, you can kind of feel it pulsing beneath your boots, as if you were walking on something not alive but not dead. Oisin, with the exception of the odd mutter or grumble, the whisper of dismay or somebody talking to themselves, there is just this silence that just permeates the dark woods. But somewhere in the distance, you can hear an echo of something rustling. There's a choked cry, a howl that isn't quite animal, and it resonates around you. And the forest feels alive, as if it's watching, as if it's waiting. And the dark woods are not here to welcome you or your companions. What are the four of you doing in this moment?
I think Cousin is just trying to keep up. I think the weight of her weapon is still unfamiliar. It's been so long since she's bared any kind of weapon at all. And hearing like these kind of weird half howls, half screams, she's just taking deep breaths of this like musty stink and trying to calm herself as best she can to keep going.
What do you think it is, Oisin? Is it like Chimera, Manticore, some sort of hobgoblin crossbreed or something, is it? Yeah?
None of those are native to this region. Just...
I know they are, sure. I've seen them plenty of times here.
Come on, they're really not. Just quiet. Just listen to it.
Silence.
All right, yeah. What's up?
Something
Come
is
on.
coming.
What's up with you? Come on. We're we got these weapons. We can do it. Yeah.
Yeah, get ready.
If you keep on talking, you'll be the first one to be eaten. Is that what you want?
I know. Come on, we'll be grand. And I take like a solid 3 steps backwards.
Gonna look to Screech. And I'm just gonna say, these weapons. Do you feel their pull as well, or it's like they expect things of us to prove ourselves to them?
Yes, ancient magic. They take as much as they give. Be careful how much you give yourself into them. I feel their pull. They need something. They will feed off of you. Use them as tools when necessary only.
I feel heavier than they should anyway.
Don't know what she's saying. These are class.
Jeez, bring on, you're some man for one man, even out here.
I look, just trying to keep us focused, trying to keep us positive here, So like, I don't know, like, I mean, I never got with the Guardians in the end. Oisin, I could have been, and sure, practically an honorary member now. But I mean, happy to take your lead on this. But if you want me to go in and sort them out, that's no problem.
No, we need to be careful.
Whew.
I'm going to approach an area that just has like a little bit higher concentration of the rot, I don't want to go in the direction of the howling beast yet, but focusing on the weapons that we now carry and focusing on the rot, do I feel a connection or a relationship there?
There's something about these two things, definitely. But in the sense that you feel a pull from the weapon that Lilith gave you. But as you kind of drop to one knee and kind of get closer to just this puddle, like it's just this wet gunk of muck and black ichor, there's a familiar pull from the rot. It seems to feed off of the grove, but not in the way that decay feeds off of life, one bleeding into the other. The rot takes two. And that's the correlation, that there is this, there's something here, there's something familiar about them. But you're not quite certain if they are one and the same. And in this moment, two things happen. Screech. A shiver rustles through your feathers. And you can feel, again, you've all felt as if the woods were watching. But you know that just beyond Oisin and the tree line, where the young Furbog man has kind of crouched down and seems to be checking something on the forest floor, there is something just beyond the molting hedge. And Oisin, the rot just lashes out and it wraps itself around your arm and it just starts to kind of pull on you.
That's nasty. Absolutely not. No, thank you. I'm pulling my arm out.
Screech, as a note of the sky knight, has a preternatural ability to detect oncoming danger and react. So I think as he senses these things tingling his feather/skin, who knows, he's immediately gonna jump up into the canopy and try and get the higher ground to see what's happening.
In that moment, Oisin, as you kind of resist the ooze, as you pull, it snaps. It snaps like rubber. But what had wrapped itself around your arm is now crawling up you.
Oh.
It's sort of spreading thin, like this viscous ooze. But you can see tendrils that are just sort of feeling out and up along your arm. Cossin and Bragon, you just see old Screech dart up with a deft beat of their wings up onto a low branch. You can see a pack of what look like wolves, but they have succumbed to the rot in a way that you have never seen before, old Screech. Their faces, their maw is just, most are just dripping with this almost tar-like substance. You can see that along their body, parts of it are have been broken open, and there is sort of tendrils just sort of whipping out of it. They have approached, they are waiting, and now four are kind of splintering off either side to surround.
Hate all of that. So the thing that's crawling up my arm, does it seem to be looking for an opening through which to enter my body?
This thing, it's spreading. Like, it's not that this thing is, it's just, it seems to be trying to engulf you.
I would love for that not to happen. I'm gonna, with all my strength, rip it off me, and then I'm gonna stab it into the ground with the spear that I have up to now just sort of had on my back, but I'm finally gonna take the spear. I'm gonna stab it into this thing to get it off, get it away from me, please.
Old Screech, what are you doing with the wolves while this is sort of happening?
First thing Screech is going to do is going to shout downwards, 2 packs of creatures! I'll block one off! And you see as from Screech's arm tendrils of black blood shoot out as the scroll unlatches from his back and floats in midair, unfurling. And these tendrils of black blood shoot towards a specific portion of the page, and you see as it lights up immediately, and the air around the scroll starts reverberating as he's attempting with guile, I think, to block off one of the pincer parts of the wolf attack by destroying a portion of the forest, by blocking off a section they can't walk around.
In all of this, Oisin, if you mark off a valor as well, if you are just ripping this thing off of you, Cossin and Bragon, you hear Old Screech, and you see Oisin sort of struggling with this rot that has clung to him. Mm-hmm. The pair of you kind of take up a guard, whatever it might be. You might take up a defensive maneuver behind a tree. Looking at you, Bragon. But you brace yourselves as the air around you just begins to pulse and reverberate, and the tree that Old Screech has perched himself on just starts to shake violently, and the ground under it begins to crack and tear itself open. And we flash back to the night before in the grove with Aisling. Oisin had sought each of you out. Cossin in the medical aid tent, Old Screech in your hut. Bragon, he rescued you from Nana Meadowmoon. Oisin presents this empty stone plateau, this space where the Grove Guardian has requested an audience with you. It was empty. There was nobody, and whether you believed or doubted him, it seemed as if the captain of the Grove Guardians may have buckled under pressure. And then a small, snowy white fox came bounding out under a bushel of blueberries. And you watched as it transformed into this tall, white and silver-haired woman in a long, flowing gown. She bowed to the three of you, standing close to Oisin, almost taking his arm in hers. And she revealed a chest. And from it, Old Screech, she took out a large, bundled scroll.
I see. This is related to things us keepers never wanted to use, and yet here we are. Time has come.
To the Watcher, I give you a scroll to remember all that has happened, all that is happening, and all that will come. Sul, the scroll. You can feel this coldness just sort of radiating from it. It seems to recognize you. And then there's a question.
To possess my eyes, to bear witness, and to remember. What changes will you wrought to your mind and body?
And Screech stretches out his arm with one bony, elongated finger touching the tip of the scroll, floating in midair. The moment he touches the tip of the scroll, the air around it starts reverberating, and from his fingertip, a jet of bright red blood starts pouring and being sucked into the scroll. Constant, unending, until his entire body is drained of blood and he collapses on the floor. For 2, 3, 5 seconds. And in one boom of reverberation, the scroll lets out the entirety of the blood contents it sucked, but this time heavy, oily, black, as it pours back into Screech's body. I do not know what sorcery this is, but I shall use it to our end goal. He picks up the scroll that now hums silently.
And the ground just explodes under the tree that old Cossin stands upon. Roots tear themselves out of old dirt and stone. They crawl and climb and cling and bind themselves over this rocky pass. And you just hear the squelching and the stunted cry of pain from a wolf crushed by this barricade as the old tree just sort of bends to old Screech's will. And there is a hissing screech as Oisin, you tear the rot from you. And in that motion where you bend and roll your shoulders, your left arm reaching up for the spear at your back, the blade cuts through. It seems to hum and sing. It isn't sharp. It isn't a battle cry. It is a woeful lament of worry and sadness that the spear sings with as you drive it down into the rot. And you feel in that moment Lilith's hand in yours. You feel the weight of the spear. It hums with power. And behind it there is just this lamenting sort of drone that reverberates through you to pierce the heart of all you hold true. I give you Cree Ella. The other half
Where's the
of
other
a pair.
half?
With who I love. In that moment, Oisin, you hear Lilith's voice in your head. It feels different. You feel a connection to her that you haven't felt before. And you can see the others, Cossin, Old Screech, Bragon, kind of standing around, all looking a little fearful, uncertain, anxious. The question passes her lips. And then you just feel her hand take your forearm and just... You feel steady. The rot at your feet writhes in agony, and then it just melts. There is a gurgled howl around all of you as 6 wolves circle. How are each of you approaching this?
Bragon doesn't flee, doesn't hide. Bragon freezes. But to anyone who could see him, maybe it's only Screech at this point from his vantage point, you see that my entire skin has hardened and become not quite the full petrification of the rot that's affecting the people in the grove and in the town itself, but my skin hardens and I become like locked in place.
I think Kasan is gonna run up to Bregon and shove him closer to Oshin and plant in front, drawing out her weapon ready to defend.
So if it's this sort of thing where you, like, if Oshin has the front, you're taking the rear, and you've kind of put Bregon kind of between the two of you, sort of like if you and Oshin were back to back, Bregon's kind of, they're sort of cemented between the pair of you.
Yeah.
Cemented.
With this, what approach do you think best suits this for Cossen's point of view? Like, because these wolves are about to attack.
I would call this valor.
Okay.
Just trying to make basically a humanoid wall. They will not pass me.
With Old Screech up in the trees, Oshin now kind of having dealt with the rot, and Cossen sort of ready to defend in case the wolves kind of come round. Bregon, you watch as from on high, Old Screech just sort of points out where the wolves are going or if they're moving. You can feel, because of sort of the movement of Oshin sort of just lashing out. And again, that low lament of Cree Ella as it just slices through the air. And it lands and catches, it cuts, and it spears several of the wolves, who let out painful cries and fall. And then there is this putrid smell, and your eyes lock on a wolf that had crept low, almost sort of oozed on its belly along the dead forest floor, in under bush. And as it snaps violently out at you, Cossen just turns with this. It's not speed you would expect from a woman of her age, but with just this ferocious grace. She puts herself between you and it, and there is a crunch as the wolf falls limp on the ground.
I think she's breathing heavy. It's the first time in a long time she's killed anything. It's like, eyes up, lad.
And the movement breaks Bregon out of his Oath of Stone ability, and he looks around and he's like, right, yeah, sorry, yeah, oh no, you're doing good here, like, fair play, lads, come on. And I like nervously start searching my body for the sling. I see it, like, it's fallen onto the ground, and I like pick it up with like shaky hands, and look desperately around for something to use as ammunition.
As you kind of drop to your hands and knees, and you can see the sling. It's not within arm's reach. You're going to have to crawl to kind of get to it. As you sort of maneuver kind of out from under Oshin's shadow and Cossen's kind of protection, again, you hear Old Screech overhead. There's a change in the air, Screech, that you detect. There's only 2 wolves left, and rot bedamned, there's still something in them, an instinct to survive. They seem to turn. They're retreating, but they're snapping. Bregon, you can see the path that you had been following. It's a path through the grove and the dark woods. At the edge of the road, down this sort of sharp drop, there's an overturned cart. It's a good 30 or 40 feet below, and you can see a dead mountain horse. You can't see anyone else.
Does everyone else still look as if they're in danger from these wolves?
Looking back over your shoulder, No.
At this point, Screech sees the wolves retreating carefully and just gonna snap at his companions. Stop! Start making your way backwards. Don't make sudden movements. We're safe if you don't do anything rash.
I just scramble. If this is a path that we're on, there's probably like loose like pebbles and small rocks and things. I grab something, and I think you see Bragon kind of stand up and see these things retreating from us all, and he takes that as his opportunity to do something quote unquote useful.
Oh no.
Here we go.
And
So right.
I will use the ability of my sling to kill. Would you consider these to be mundane creatures of the forest?
They are very much.
I will use the ability of my sling to kill a mundane creature of the forest and let loose. And like as I do it, like I am hooting and hollering, being like, yeah, no, come on, we got this, we can get them, come on, let's go. And I just like let loose in a blind fit of, it's definitely not skill, it's definitely not precision, it's just pure emotion and luck. It flies through and pierces one of the remaining wolves.
Sling in hand, and bolstered by the fact that, well, if they're retreating, they're not likely to react. They're not likely to come back and attack me. You find a short, sharp little stone at the edge of the road. You place it into the sling, and you can hear the whirring of the leather and the rope as it just sort of whispers through the air. And you can hear it saying,
Do it. Do it. Do it, you fucking coward.
Yeah, I can do it. No, fuck it. Yeah, no.
And there's just this crack of leather as the stone just rushes into the brush, and you hear a yelp of pain and then silence.
We did it, Oisin! Oisin, look! Did you see it? Did you see it? I did it! I got one! I got one!
I'm gonna run over to Bragon and say, would you ever have a bit of cop on, lad?
What do you mean have a cop on? They're trying to kill us! I got one, didn't I? I fucking did it!
Those ones are running away. We don't have time for this.
They're going to come back.
I'm going to assume that from up there, Screech sees the last wolf that was retreating after this provocation probably is going back to retaliate against Bragon, or not really?
You watch it. Old Screech, the brush beyond, and these two, well, the one path has sort of collapsed in itself. The other one is now just sort of drenched in blood and ooze from the rot from the wolves. But the sort of the wild woods beyond, it's kind of hard. You can see kind of these sort of windows through the decaying and dying plants, and you can just see the dead wolf. Like you can just see kind of part of its head. You can see kind of where the stone hit and the blood rushes. And you watch as the remaining wolf, it does, for a moment, there is that sort of that panic. It's coming back. He's brought it back. The wolf moves over to the dead one, and it just starts to lick the wound. And there is just a whimpering sound.
Does this creature seem in pain?
It's not a physical pain.
From my experience of the rot, would it be a safe bet to assume that this infected wolf is in a deeper spiritual pain?
From what all of you know of the rot and the various maladies and sicknesses beyond the petrification. We are who we are, even at our core, even now, people who are afflicted and turning to stone. That's only the surface. There is something else. There's something deeper. There's a connection to this thing, and there's instincts, Old Screech, that you see. That even the fact that if these things have been consumed by the rot, then there's no need to be a pack, but they still hunted as a pack. The cry that you hear, and it's not a natural cry, but it is a low whimpering.
I'm going to walk up, and I'm also going to kill a mundane creature of the forest. I'm just going to walk up to it, and in the most painless way possible that I think I can manage with this spear, I'm just going to put it down. And when I do so, because of the spear, an ugly secret must be shared, a soul pierced and destroyed for all to see. As I kneel down just to lay the wolf on its side so that it can rest with its friend, I'll just say to myself, not really noticing that everyone can hear me, "You're lucky. At least you got to follow your friend."
There's an uncomfortable stillness that just seems to linger. And then, Old Screech, from your vantage, you can see something moving in the brush. As 3 wolf cubs climb out of a burrow and just move over to the 2 dead rot wolves.
At this point, Screech is going to assume the threat is over and somersault down from the branch, land next to Bragon and Oisin. Young people always so hasty. We're not here to treat symptoms. It points at the dead wolves. We're here to treat the disease, to harness it for our own purpose. If I say they are retreating, then you'll let them leave. We don't care about a couple of wolves. We care about the rot. And now, points at the cubs, this is on you. And he brushes off his black plumage and starts walking away.
I have to agree with Screech there. There was no need for that. We don't have time to be messing around. And I'm going to walk with him.
As they've walked off, I'm still a little bit, not fully hyperventilating, but my breathing has picked up. I'm just going to turn to Bragon, and I'm angry. I have a lot of anger in my eyes, and I'm just going to turn to him. I'm going to put my hand on your chest, and I'm just going to slight push. And I'm going to say, I wouldn't have had to do that if you had fucking listened. All this talk about all your adventures, I just saw someone who almost pissed their pants. Literally petrified.
What the fuck are you saying? I've had loads of adventures. I've gone out here. This fucking forest has nothing for me, alright? This forest has done me nothing but fucking pain, and I had to get away from it. All because people like you fucking living under your shadow, living under the fucking unrealistic expectation that people like you sent, fucking golden boy of the grove here. No, fuck you. And I run over to the cubs. I have a quest to strike back against the forest through desecration or destruction, and I slaughter the cubs.
You can mark that quest complete. They don't make a sound.
Everything in this fucking forest is dying one way or another, okay? So don't give me shit for trying to put things out of this misery. I just saw you do it. These cubs are fucked. Everything's fucked here, okay? This forest, maybe it deserves it, alright? Maybe this entire fucking grove just needs to burn, needs to be destroyed so it can come back as it should be, alright? So don't give me shit. You don't know the shit I've been through, okay?
I'm going to use the shaft of the spear to sweep the leg so that you're on your back. I'm gonna just literally stand over you and say, "You watch your fucking mouth. You think I wanted any of this? You're born into it. You accept responsibility. You don't run like a little slaughtered wolf cub, okay? Bottle up your shit. We have work to do."
The wind's completely gone from his chest. Yeah, whatever. If you want to go be a fucking hero, there's like a cart or something over there down the side of a drop. If you want to go be a fucking hero about it, go on, show us why you're the big one. And I struggle and stand up to my knees and just keep my distance from you as much as possible.
I don't turn to look at you. I keep walking, and as I do, I am fighting back that very cinematic single tear because I've never had to strike one of my own before.
Can you mark a valor for me as well, Oisin, just for the sort of the sweeping of the legs with the spear and stuff like that?
Can I mark
But I'm
a
also...
quest?
You can. I'd like you to mark the test the mettle of one of your fellow knights. With sort of the dust settling and tempers still a little on edge, back still a little up. Cussin and Screech, a couple of minutes after you begin kind of that walking on that path, Oisin catches up, and then a little while later, Bragon kind of appears. And yeah, he's covered in mud, but his boots are covered in blood. And nobody says anything for the longest while. And then the silence is cut by Bragon telling the three of you that he saw a cart overturned off the edge of the road and the horse was dead. There was no sign of anybody else.
I don't want to sound cruel here, but it's not really our issue at the moment. It could have been done well before, during the attack.
Just letting you know, I don't really care. Just want to make sure Oisin here knows. Report to Captain,
Right. Shall we take a quick look then? Or do we want to move on?
Perhaps whatever happened was caused by what we are hunting. Maybe we can find clues.
Yeah.
All right. A quick look then.
Maybe there's something we
quickest.
can track.
I'm going to use my Oath of the Wood ability. If I am unsure of what to do next, a short communion with the trees will guide me. I don't really want to talk to these trees. These trees seem bad. But I'm assuming there are a lot of trees around this cart.
It's one of those things where, Cousin, as you turn around and you look and you see so many of these sick and dead and dying trees. But amidst all of this rot, there is still life clinging on. And they're sort of a little way back the path, not quite in that clearing where you fought the wolves, but a little way back the path, you find a whistling birch tree. Again, so much of the plant life and the trees that grow here are not native to this part of the world. The whistling birch come from Rothaham to the north, the vast kingdom kind of beyond the swirling Black Sea. A kingdom perpetually in winter almost. But there you see this little thin wisp of a sapling just sort of whittling with leaves clinging to the soil. It seems untouched. And as you place just a hand on it, there's a moment where you can kind of feel the energy in the way that you've always been able to understand the herbs and flowers that you have planted, nursed, grown, and used to heal the sick. There's a flash of something, and you see a young dwarven woman running. She's being chased by what looks to be like a boar, but again, like the wolves you had encountered, consumed by the rot. She's running in the opposite direction. So if the path is taking you north through the dark woods, she's now running kind of east and kind of around.
Does it look like she's running far, like really far east, like directly out of the way?
All you saw was just a flash of her running in that direction.
And no one else, just the one.
Just her, and she's being chased by a boar. She looks incredibly familiar. You recognize her as a merchant that would occasionally frequent the grove. Again, there are those who are welcome in the woods and welcome to the grove to bring trade in and out. Mostly sort of potions, and this is kind of why you kind of know of her. I mean, maybe you've had dealings with her in the past.
Probably.
But she buys a lot of potions and herbs from the grove, and she tends to trade sort of a mishmash of kind of everything. It's sort of a some weeks she visits and it's all she's got is like furniture, and other times she's there and it's like armory supplies.
Right.
One from Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, 100%. Yeah, I don't know, whatever's in the box, just check it.
That horse is actually a pig. That's crazy.
I'm going to establish that you know her.
I do know her.
If that's good. Her name is Ginny McGucken.
I take in this information. Did I have to go away to commune, or
if everybody had kind of, if you all feel like you'd have followed a little bit, you've definitely walked off the path to the Whistling Birch, but
I turn back to them and I say, it's old. They must have been taken off from before. The trees haven't seen anything. We should move on.
Yeah, Grant.
Very well.
Yep. And I'm going to turn north.
I think as we're walking, I don't hang fully back, but I'm going a little bit slower because very low volume, I'm starting to practice and realize that I can mimic the like death mules of the wolves. And I'm starting to mimic those sounds of dying.
it does sound almost like it sounds like it is a rattling howl. It's a very weak, but it's almost as if there's something wet in the throat, like something has sort of blocked that place, and it sort of warbles over it a little, and you can all kind of hear like these sounds sort of slowly sort of just emanating from Oisin.
Lad, what are you doing?
I think I can mimic the forest, or at the very least the rot.
Why would you want to?
This is going to sound bad, because it is, but it's also one of the only advantages that we may have with this ability. I don't know what the spear is doing to me, but maybe we can lure the forest or whatever is waiting for us into a false sense of security. Or we can learn how to use its own sounds, abilities, whatever I can do against it.
Right. I'm going to say this now, and I'm going to say this loud enough for all of you to hear. We shouldn't be using anything that this rot offers up. It is... I almost wish I could say it was death. Death is at least natural. Whatever this is, it turns my stomach. And as I realized that, when I bashed in that wolf, did it leave like gunk on my weapon?
There's a little like blood and ichor and fur.
I almost, like in a weird way, I take my shield off. It's burnished kind of a gold color. but it's stained with this gore, and I could almost feel it. It feels like it's almost on my skin, and I just wipe it off. It's like, nothing of that should touch any of us. In fact, let me see your arm.
Like, I ripped it all off. It's fine.
Let me see your arm.
Okay.
Is there any signs that the rot has infected him?
You don't see the petrification. If that's what you're looking for, Costin, if you're looking for sort of that cracking and hardening of the skin, but what you do see is it's like there's a shadow permanently on him. Like where this thing had crawled and climbed, you can just see this sort of almost translucent shade just sort of lingering.
Does it hurt?
Does what hurt?
What do you think? Your arm. And I just gesture at this black mark on him.
Oh. No, but I didn't even notice it.
Okay. You're not feeling anything? Nausea, headache, anything?
In general, I've been feeling that for weeks, but here specifically, I'm upset, but I'm fine.
She's going to study him closely, and then she's just going to take a little gauze out of her apron. It's a little dirty, but she's... this is like a little bit. And
get your dirty gauze away from me.
She shakes it off a little bit, cleans it off, and she wraps the dark where the dark is, and she just says, "Don't." And she turns to all of you, and especially at Screech, because he's been talking about it the most. It's like, don't touch any of it. Don't let any of it get on your skin. I'll try to do the best I can if it does get on your skin, but I can't guarantee it won't kill you before I can do anything. Do you understand?
For the most perceptive of you, Screech is like rolling his eyes since the beginning of this conversation.
Oh, sorry, Screech. Did you... something I say bother you?
Oh, you wish for me to talk? You wish to debate me on this point? I do not think you'll like the outcome.
I don't like much that you do anyway, so I don't think this will change much.
But you are alive, and the grove is alive, and the grove needs a watcher, and here I am. Tell me, cousin, would you drink from a spring of this forest? Would you eat the fruits from the trees? Would you pick mushrooms while frolicking around the trees? Would you?
If you mean right now, you'd have to be out of your fucking mind.
But you did before. The power is the same. The source of life, of nurture, of freshness is the same as the source of the rot. We just need to find how to use it for ourselves.
Screech, you haven't been watching close enough to the people who I've watched die from this rot. I don't care what the source is, as long as it's burnt. Do you understand?
Power is power, cousin. It doesn't matter if you think it's evil or you think it's good. Power is power. And if we can use it to better our lives, we will.
As this bubbles up, Cossin, as you try and reason, argue, debate, Screech, there's a face that comes to mind. There's a person, and you feel the weight of the shield on your back, and you're sort of lingering there amongst Oisin, Bragon, and Screech, and Aisling, this spiritual guardian of the grove, and your mind is racing. If she's here and she can do all these things, then why couldn't she heal? Why couldn't she protect? Why couldn't she stop any of this? And you feel her eyes sort of drift over you. You have many questions.
Too many. But I can put them aside if needs be.
You cannot. You are unable to let anything go. But I'll give you a shield to shoulder the burden. Drum. And may it carry you safely.
I think as she picks up this shield, it's almost too heavy for her.
And cousin, there's this reverberation in your hand up along your arm as you grip the shield. The weight, a breath of iron, and then a voice just sort of seeps in with you.
I am drum, the back that bears, the wall that turns the blow. I know the curve of every burden you've carried. I remember the warmth of your back before the cold of battle found it. I do not see the world as eyes do. I feel it. That is how I know you, bearer of burdens. Tell me, what memory do you release as you heft me into your arms?
She can... but the heaviness isn't in the shield itself, it's in her entire body. And, but in particular her hand. And she looks down and she sees her wedding ring. And it makes her think of her husband who has been dead for many years. And she knows she can't hold the weight of him and the weight of this shield. So she takes off the ring, lets it fall, and now when she lifts the shield, she finds it's much lighter now, and the ring, she forgets it almost before it hits the ground.
You just feel your eyes sting as tears roll down your face because you think of a man and you can just see a faint smile, but you don't remember what he looked like, and you can't remember his name. And you find yourself just staring daggers at Screech as he continues to elaborate on all that you could earn if you could just give some time to understanding the essence of what the rot is and could be.
Cossin is filled with so much sadness and rage. She can't even speak when you get too emotional during a debate. And she shoves Screech. She knows the hollow bones can't withstand a shove from him. She shoves him aside, says, "Don't touch the fucking rot." And just Are yous coming or what? And she continues to walk north, ignoring the cart, ignoring Screech. She cannot focus on this man with no name, because it feels like she's watching her and she doesn't know why.
Screech will carefully, he doesn't say anything else, he'll let it go. It's not in his interest to debate emotional people at this point. He'll carefully analyze Oisin's reaction to the debate, though, after Cosm leaves. See if he can gauge what side of the balance he's hanging on.
As Cosson walks off, I pick a flower from an area of the forest that has not been touched by the rot. I pull up my bandage a little, my gauze a little bit, not fully unwrapping it, but I just touch it to just, where the mark is on my arm, and I watch it wither in my hand and die. And I look like I think about that, and then I just cover it back up.
There is just now where there had been apprehension and fear at the unknown and the weight of this quest to hunt the source of the rot, to find it and stop it, to understand it, whatever it may have been, that now has sort of burned away. There is just this tension that as the four of you follow this winding, wet, mucky path through the woods, you all can't help but feel it. And whether you're ignoring it and reliving the glory days of a tavern brawl in Tezrab, I mean, you were there, you weren't necessarily involved in the brawl, or you were analyzing just what about Oisin and that mark caused that flower to wilt. Maybe you're so focused on just a single name, Quillo Isidrim. Or maybe you're struggling to remember. All of you can feel this pressing weight. And it's not that the day passes without any event or attack. You find occasionally rot fiends, these twisted creatures, just sort of lash out as if you sort of encroached on their territory, or they're hunting and you happen to be in their way, but all of you sort of, without much discussion, just throw yourselves into it. And there's little said afterwards, but the day crawls on, and the light, what little light is sort of hanging under the canopy, begins to diminish, and the air, that dead heat, sort of weighs down, and there is this sort of mugginess as the pressure shifts, and it starts to rain. Heavy, fat drops. You tear yourselves out off the road and in under cover. And camp starts to form, with people looking for dry kindling to light a fire, stones to circle it, food that needs to be prepared. And a tiredness begins to seep into your bones. And we'll leave the episode there. You've been listening to Echoes of the Grove, a Romancing the Dungeon mini-series with Dylan, Apollo, Nuno, and Dread. I'm Declan, and I've been your Dungeon Master. there is so much in this that I have changed my mind about. I'm usually very militant when it comes to editing and cutting, but the guys do such an amazing job at taking the story and weaving their characters and their emotions into it that it's becoming very difficult for me to edit. So I've opted to expand this out into a slightly longer series. So there's going to be one or two extra episodes, just because I want you to hear all of their work and the payoff. More to come from Echoes of the Grove in 2 weeks' time. Until then, let us know what you thought. Leave us a comment on YouTube or Spotify, wherever you're listening to this. You can reach out to us on social media at D8 Dungeon. Why not drop into our Discord server? There's a link to it in our episode description. Come by, meet some of the cast, have a chat about it, let us know what you thought there. And until then, we will leave it there. Mind yourselves. Take care.
No, you're good. It's good. Don't worry
You'll all
about
be
it.
fine. You've all got therapists. You'll all be fine.
We can bill you for them, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going through a tunnel. Beep.